All right, hello, here we are
Hello.
with Ivoti-based architect and urban planner, Andrea. Thank you for being here. It's been interesting to be talking with you, and we're about to do a city rating for your current hometown, right? You've lived in other places in Brazil, but your current
Mhm.
hometown of Ivoti.
Yes.
Yes, and if
Thank
you
you
want
for
to mention,
attending.
yes, if you want to mention where on it's in southern Brazil, but
Mhm.
specifically.
Yeah, so we are in Ivoti, which is a city of 25, more or less 25,000 people, based in the state of Rio Grande do Sul in southern Brazil.
Okay, great. And we're going to do the walkability rating for Evo but just for some clarification, as you were saying earlier, you're a dormitory city to Novo Hamburgo?
Yes, which is a city located around like 12 kilometers away from here and has close to 300,000 people. It's a big city. So
Novo
many
Hamburgo.
people live here, but work there. And even in cities a little bit farther, the capital is just 50 kilometers away. So we have people that live here and work there.
Okay, so it's a true dormitory city or sleeper city. And we were speaking earlier too, I think it was really interesting. Novo Hamburgo, of course, a vestige of German colonialism. And you said there's a a lot of Japanese heritage there too. So it'll be really interesting to maybe meet on another talk and talk about these heritage issues. Really fascinating. But so let's for today do the rating. Let's start with, I'm going to let you choose. We do a rating for walkability, public transit, and cycling on a scale of 1 to 10. So 1 is the lowest, 10 is the highest. What do you want to start with?
Maybe walkability.
Okay.
So for walkability, I would give Ivoti a 5. We are a very hilly city, and our sidewalks are a mess. We have a lot of disconnection between the sidewalks. We have places where there is no sidewalk at all. And so for people with any disability or older people, it's really hard to go from one place to another. So we have a big problem on walkability, on my opinion.
Okay. So from your perspective, and also you come from the perspective of a resident, and I think this is important to mention, you are a resident, so you move around the city, so you have that lived experience there, but you're also an architect and urban planner, so you have
Mhm.
a very technical look at things too, and because of your work, think broadly about all the people who move in the city. So what are some of the things that you would want to see change in the next few years for your walkability score to come up? Obviously, the
Uh,
disability
sure.
access would be one.
Yeah, we have in terms of walkability, a few years ago we have a project here that tried to make improvements to the sidewalks in downtown area, but incredibly we have a little bit of resistance of the citizens of the town because the space for cars were taken. So there was no, they took a few of the parking spots, and that was a big concern. Oh, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna lose my clients. People had a completely different idea of what was gonna happen. So it's I see that there is a lot of educational work we must do to make people to understand the benefits of having these improvements and making the walkability easier, to make it easier to walk around the city. We all know we have a hilly city, which is already difficult for some people to move around, older people, because they have to go up and down. But we can make a lot of things to make this easier, because we have the quality of the sidewalks, we have the entrance of the cars, which are made technically in an incorrect way. So there's a lot we can do to train people that work on the constructions, to teach them how to do it in the correct way, so they wouldn't make it harder for people to walk around. And we have other sidewalks that are even there, they doesn't build them, so there's a grass instead of a place where you can walk. So there's a lot that we can do and that I wanted to see happen here and make it better.
I'm going to quote you on that. That I love that you mentioned the educational work, because of course can change infrastructure, but if citizens are consistently resisting, it's that they don't understand the benefits of the walkable environment. But as you said, there's a lot of educational work we can do for people to understand the benefits of a walkable environment, which I love, because that's the work of pedestrian space too. We will be sharing about that later too. I'm excited that you're joining the network. But let's move on to the next. What are you going to choose? Public transit or cycling?
Public transit. Okay.
Oh.
Well, I have to tell you that I'm not a client of the public transportation here. So, but I can see what I heard from people that I talk is that as we are a small city also, it's hard. The company responsible, it doesn't pay itself because it doesn't have enough people using it. Also because people doesn't have the bus stops close to their home, so they have to walk a lot. Remember, ups and downs, so that's make this even harder. So people doesn't use the public system, and there's not enough buses, so it takes a long time. But so I think all of these points make it worse for the public transportation to work. So I think it's practically and I heard that it's maybe they're gonna end it, the bus line, because there is not enough people and then can keep it. It's not paying itself, as I told you. Okay. So I would give it a 3 okay. Because we don't have enough buses. The schedule is bad. We don't have a walk there. The bus stops are not in a walkable distance many times. So all of these things make it doesn't work.
I think this is a huge topic for a future talk or a roundtable that we can do, because I think especially for dormitory cities, this is kind of a global issue for a lot of sleeper and dormitory cities and suburban areas, and the connectivity is a huge issue, especially if we're thinking about the planetary mission of emissions reductions that we have to face at a local level and change at a local level. So that's really interesting. That'll be good to talk about later too, maybe in a focused talk. But we're going to end off now on cycling.
Cycling. Well, cycling is very popular here, but mainly for sports. It's a big route for cycling, but not as public transport, as public or private transportation, not as transport to go from one place to another, which I believe is something that the city could invest a lot, which is because it's a cheap infrastructure to install. And we don't have, I think we have one cycling path just in the city. And I think there is space for much, much more cycling lanes or spaces. So I think it's a possibility. People here say that it doesn't work also because it's a hilly city. It's always the hilly city that is the big challenge. But we have to think that the electric bikes are getting cheaper. So they could be a good alternative for hilly cities. And as we're facing all these problems with the price of oil, et cetera, and we have like climate change and have everything, the bicycle is actually, and for small cities where we don't have like a huge distance to go, the bikes would make a wonderful job. So we're not good on that now, but I think we have a good chance to improve on that area.
So what would your rating be? It'll be interesting to return maybe and to do future ratings, but what would your rating right now be?
Yeah, well, if I'm gonna think on the mobility, sorry.
Like daily mobility.
Yeah, if you're gonna think like for mobility for work, for daily movements, I would say that we would go like a 5.2, no more than that. But as a possibility, I would say that we have an 8 or a 9. We have good chances on improving on that area.
Oh, I love that. That's great to have the possibility, because if sports cycling is already really popular, it seems like there's a lot of potential. And also, right, with the e-bikes, I'm hearing from people in hilly cities that the e-bikes are game changers. So that
I
coming
have one,
to,
is wonderful.
oh, you do?
It's
Okay,
very, very
that's
nice.
fantastic. All right, well, that was it for today. We're very happy to do this with you and to welcome you to the Correspondence Network, and looking forward to future talks with you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm the one who thanks you.